Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to start off giving all honor, glory, infinite praise, and worship to our power. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. A double honors again to our apostle, our elders, great millstone, who will teach you on sound doctrine, strong shalom, to the hopeful elect and the rest of the large multitude of men and children. That the Lord will have mercy on these last days, man. All right, your brother Kadash represented GMS branch here in Cleveland. Lord willing to break out an edifying lesson. Guess you could call it like a GMS quick hit, straight to the point. The title of this lesson is Talks Abandoning the Holy Word, man. The Holy Word, man, which is why I had to code it like that. I want to show a quick video. Now, back in January, there was talks in Congress dealing with this topic. Okay, it resurfaced about a couple months ago. You see a couple brothers talking about it, but a lot of those talks dealing with that lawmaker was from like January. Okay, when I forgot, like I think organization she has or something to that effect. Is against the alphabets community, and she mentioned the scriptures and so forth and so forth, and they talking about they was going to ban her, and she said if you ban her, then you got to ban the scriptures, so forth and so forth, man. But it was a whole big thing back in January. Also, I want to show this, okay? Because it just came up a couple months ago, okay? Because what you're going to find out is that, it's something called there's something in history known as the Greco-Roman Empire, okay? The Greco-Roman Empire, which when you look at the red, white, and blue today, it is exactly that, which is why the scriptures call it Babylon, because Babylon is confusion. Or it had all languages and all manner of customs and cultural influences and so forth mixed in one, and that's what you see here in the red, white, and blue. This is why all nations come here for education, or come here to get a better life, if you will, and they come here to further their life, all right, to have their life prosper at a way that they couldn't at where they reside at the time. So with the Greco-Roman Empire, you had it to where in a nutshell, in the grand scheme of scheme of things, you had it to where it was influenced. Like you had when the Romans were merging the power, that's why a lot of things took place. I'm not gonna go into the history in this particular video, but a lot of things took place in just a grand scheme of things, and where a lot of influences for the Greek culture, which they are the same people, by the way, was influenced into the Roman customs. Okay, you had a lot of things that was influenced during the Roman Empire from the Greeks rule, or the Greeks empire, if you will. Okay, so which is why in the red, white, and blue today, you have Greek and Roman, as well as the other cultures like Babylon, Egypt, Syria, and all these different nations, because this is Babylon. But it's mainly influenced, from the ancient African cultures, okay, which is where they really get it all from, even the Greeks and the Romans, okay, because it goes back further, all right. And mainly when you get down to the gritty, we the ones, Hebrew Israelites from the ancient times, are the ones that are held to different customs and different things, which every nation get it from us, and they put their own spin on it. Okay, because you like the Greeks with the gymnasium, the word, when you go to the word gymnasium, it goes into to exercise naked. So we of course we didn't uphold that. You get what I'm saying? So that's their own spin and twist to what was already a form of it according to the ancient ways. So when you look at the Roman numerals, You look at the Roman numerals, which you have. Listen, when we was in school, when we was growing up in the 90s, okay, early 2000s, going to school, they made us. I'm talking about every day, and even in the summertime, they would give us summer reading books, and they made us learn about their gods, man. I remember, I don't remember the specific title of one book, but I remember the character, the main character was Poseidon, the Greek god of the water, or something like that. You know, they made us learn about their gods and their culture. You see, they have to continue to and I don't want to say you know what I'm saying, but they got to continue to shape your mind because there's always a generation to come. And this is, you know, I graduated from college, you know what I'm saying, years ago, and you know what I'm saying, almost a decade ago. Crazy to even say that, but I graduated from college, and the crazy thing about it is that, you know, I told my rib, man, you know, because but also keep my eyes on it, you know what I'm saying, because I wasn't in the truth at the time, you know what I'm saying, and I had just got into the truth later, like later on, but before all that happened, I'm talking about, and back in 2012. I told my rib because she used to have an exercise science major, and I'm trying to figure out why are they making you take art history class. You know what I'm saying? My major is an artist. I'm an artist. I paint, I draw. You know, that's my major. That's what I'm majoring in at the time. It was graphic design, but I switched it. You know what I'm saying? But what have you? But and that's when I peeped it. I said, "Yo, they making you take art history." You know, and that's when it dawned on me as the truth started to merge itself in my life is because you know they want to continue to shape your mind and train you, okay, because even at the highest so-called level of education, which is college, okay, they have to still push that. And the main thing they teach you when you go into the art history class, they start off with the Egyptians and they go right into the Greek culture, go right into the Greek history. Okay, they go right into it, and then they go on from there. Going to the Greek artifacts and the Roman artifacts, they taught us how to differentiate between the Roman architecture and the Greek architecture and different things. And you know, it was teaching us all that, man. Now I mentioned all that to say is because during the Greek Empire, you had a man named Antiochus the Fourth or Antiochus Epiphanes. When he came into power, okay, he was very wicked, man. Okay, he was very wicked. He forwarded, okay, he for if how can I put it? He forwarded the main agenda, which was to push wickedness into the earth. He was like one of the first ones outside, obviously, of the other cultures like Nimrod and so forth. But when you're talking about the Greeks and themselves, he was one of the main ones outside of the other people I mentioned that forwarded this wicked vibration to the max degree as much as he could. Because you had other rulers like Alexander the Great who still allowed us to keep our customs. You had Nebuchadnezzar. Once, well, you know, he tried to push his little things, but once, you know, the point is that you had different emperors that when we were under captivity, they would let us, they would let us roam to a certain degree of keeping certain customs and traditions. Okay, even when they tried to force things on us and they found out how our power rose, they allowed us to try to they allowed us to even sit sit next to them, be presidents and be different things, man. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, so when you think about the Greek captivity and the Roman captivity, these as far as like Israelite captivity goes, those even up to today's time, which is why it's a continuation of those, the Renaissance, the Greco-Roman Empire, the Roman pagan Roman Empire. Okay, it's a continuation in the red, white, and blue. Okay, which is probably by far, which is by far the worst captivity we've ever been in because of you have something before I play this video. You have something I think I pulled it up called a Hellenization period. Okay, which it says here Hellenization, other British spelling Hellenization or Hellenism is the adoption of Greek culture, religion, language, and identity by non-Greeks, and that's what happened to us. We adopted a culture, and because of this, it moved us to it pushed us out the way of our true heritage, our culture, and that's why Jeremiah 17:4 exists, where we would discontinue from our heritage. Okay, so under the Edomites' captivity, or under us being under captivity under the Edomites, is where we started to completely fall from the essence of which we held. Okay, so, and that's because he is the son of perdition. He is the man of wicked, and that was the start. Okay, it was going into his downfall, because when he was being set up, it was as soon as he's being set up, it's also the beginning of his downfall. Okay, it's the same thing, because the scriptures say, 2 Corinthians 6:9, he's the end and we are the beginning that follow. Okay, he's the end of the world, we the beginning of it that follows. So as soon as he was set up to that blessing that Isaac gave him, that also was his end. Okay, and as soon as we went into captivity and the world saw our end for what it looked like, that was our beginning. Okay, that was the beginning of us going into something greater, in which we are here today. So, which leads us to this video I have here, because I mentioned Antiochus Epiphanes, because what he did was, when he came into power, I'm gonna hold on deck first Maccabees, because when he came into power, he had issued out a decree. Okay, he had did something. Okay, first Maccabees, we're gonna go to the first chapter, and we're gonna start at 20. Let me let this video play, and then we're gonna read that.
A Texas school district is pulling the Bible from its library shelves. It's among some 40 titles now under review in the Keller Independent School District in Texas, along with Anne Frank's diary and illustrated version. Right now, Keller ISD's administration is asking our campus staff and librarians to review books that were challenged last year to determine if they meet the requirements of the new policy. Books will be returned to the libraries as soon as it is confirmed that they comply with the new policy. So Lisa, the school district apparently got accused of having books with sexual content. So they put under review all of these books. There were 3 parent complaints about the Bible, citing, one was withdrawn, citing sexual content and violence. My question is, were these people, these anonymous individuals, asleep when they learned that kindergarten through second graders were being taught across the country sexually explicit content like body parts in vivid detail? You don't believe me? Google what they teach in New York City private schools.
Maybe you don't want to believe her. These Fox News hosts, led by Kayleigh McEnany there, they will not stand for these book bans anymore of the Bible. Yes, she was there on Outnumber with the rest of her co-hosts there, and they were complaining about Big Brother coming and taking out books, actually reviewing books that are in our children's classrooms. I mean, the Bible. They completely missed the point, of course, all irony involved. In fact, they continue complaining. Watch this.
So to your point, the book Genderqueer, the Washington Post, hardly a conservative publication, as you know.
Yes.
This is how they describe one of the scenes in that book that was also targeted, a sexual fantasy of...
All right, so for the sake of the video, I'm gonna stop it there. You can check this video out on your own. All right. Now, what they're doing is they're taking, because what America do is what America try to uphold its vision, all right, in this character behind the scriptures. Okay, they obviously it's another God they're talking about, but on their dollar bill says "In God We Trust" and so forth. And when they have the inauguration, they swear in on the scriptures and what you're not supposed to do, and they have it in their courtrooms, in the hotel rooms. They have it next to the bed, and they had it at one point in all the schools. And we had in different, when I was growing up in school, we had religion classes and shit. You know, so, but what they're doing is, that's because they was continuing to use it as a weapon against us. All right, that's why they allowed it to still be flourishing like that. But now what's happening is it's a Nat Turner situation going on. All right, with the elect men and large multitude men, women, and children of believers. It's a Nat Turner situation going on where they're tapping back into the spirit. And they're understanding through the Holy Spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, through the Holy Spirit, that this is talking about them, and these different things it's talking about this, and it's lining up with this, and it's talking about that. So now it's coming against them, because at first it was for them. it looked like. Because let me get that just to prove that. This is Psalms 50. All right. This is Psalms 50. Let's start at 15, and call upon me in the day of trouble. That's 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High said, who's the wicked? Malachi. So like it. Malachi 1 and 4, right? Esau, Edom is the wicked. It says, but unto the wicked, YAHWASHI said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? And this is also another reason why their judgment is going to be so great, because they also took the covenant of the Lord's of YAHWASHI in their mouth, and they tried to uphold themselves and live according to the covenant. They're gonna get the plagues, the punishment, the curses, and the destruction of it for disobeying it. Okay, because it never was for them anyway. 17 says, seeing thou hatest instruction. That's why, because they hate instruction. We are people of instruction. We are people with order. Anything with order has instructions to it. When the first thing you do when you buy a new table set or new chair set, new couch set, or new bike or whatever, it comes with instructions. Because why? Because it need to. If you put it in together any other way than it's supposed to be put together, it's gonna self-destruct. You're gonna get hurt and so forth. So everything that comes with order, all right, meaning instruction, has a manual. It has instructions, okay, on how to do. And he hate instruction, okay. It says, seeing thou hatest instruction, casting my words behind thee, when thou sawest a thief, then so let me jump down to 21. It says 20. Let me start at 20. No, 19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frame of deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, which is Jacob, which is Yasharallah. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. So, because the Lord tell you in Ecclesiastes, judgment is not executed speedily, therefore it's setting our hearts of the sons of men to do wickedly, roughly paraphrasing. So this is why they thought it was they felt like the Lord was on their side, because it was working for them at a point in time, because we were asleep. All right. Some of us, you had the elders and apostles teaching, because they've been teaching for almost 40 years, and their elders before them. So, but you had some of the elect who were willing to be part of that number. The hopeful elect still asleep. Okay, the great awakening hadn't took place yet. We're just now seeing a great awakening come to pass within the last years or so. Okay, via the internet. Now, they're talking about taking this out because it's exposing too much history. It's exposing too much of the truth. And that's why, because the scriptures talks about the truth shall make you free. And this is what's going on. They don't want you to be free. They don't want you to break bondage. They don't want you to break out of captivity. Okay, they don't want you to snap out of it, because the truth was going to make us free. And they don't want the truth to be because the truth overpowers the lies, man. Now, I had mentioned Antiochus, because this is what he did. All right, he banned the scriptures, man. Okay, and that's why in the beginning of this video I mentioned the Greco-Roman Empire. Okay, because of the influence it had on Jake from an entertainment standpoint and cultural standpoint and religious standpoint and so forth, and because Antiochus, Antiochus, some people say Epiphanes the fourth. All right, he was matter of fact, let me just read it real quick. It says, let me jump up to 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, which was his father, who had been in hostage at Rome, right? Because that's a whole nother history too. All right, got taken captive in Rome, and he reigned. And also, but when you go into it, you're gonna find stories that, like, when you research this little passage right here, this verse right here, you're gonna find when it says who had been in the hostages at Rome, you're gonna see different breakdowns on this, referring to how, because he was a hostage in Rome, how this also influenced the Romans, okay, to pay closer attention to the customs and the culture that the Greeks were upholding, okay, how they were moving, how, different things were established in terms of the economic side, the political side, you know, financial side, and so forth, okay. And in Rome, what they did, they combined a lot of different things into its own establishment, okay, over the periods of time and over the years, okay. Son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Right, so he ruled in the kingdom of the Greeks. Okay, we go down to 20, and after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 140 year, third year, went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and then he went into the Holy Land. Okay, it says, and entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlesticks of light and all the vessels thereof and the table of showbread, right? Dealing with the menorah, all right, where we make sacrifices and where we go to the altar, right? And the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold, right? The censers that burn, frankincense and myrrh and different things, and the vial and the crowns and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled down. I mean, with all which he pulled off. He took also the silver and gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found, meaning it wasn't his. When you find something, you could find something that's yours, but this wasn't his because I already told you where he was at. He was in. He was. He. It said he. Uh. Man. He went up against Israel. Okay. So it told you where he was at. You know what I'm saying? And Jerusalem. Okay, so these things is what he found, and when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre, spoken very proudly. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were, so that the princes of elders and the elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob were covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully expired, the king set his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them, right? Peaceable words with wars in his heart. But all was deceit. See? All was deceit. And that's what the Christians are, the modern day Christians, which are these politicians and the Crusaders and the Edomites. That's what they are. They gave us their form of Christianity. Okay, they gave us their form, so they came with us with peaceable words, so that we can conform to it, because it and enticed Israel with enticing words and words that are soothing to the flesh and not the spirit. But all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell sullying upon the city, right? When they gave him reverence, and then he smote them. And he smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel. And that's what he's going to do, okay? Because on this time, he's making it seem as if, so now, since the scriptures is coming against him, he's not going to be able to use the scriptures. He's going to use the different campaigns and different organizations that he set up, like BLM, okay, the LGBT, the alphabet community, and different things of such. These different programs that he set up, he's going to lean on them. You see what I'm saying? He's going to lean on them. But what's going to be crazy is that a lot of our people are involved in these organizations. So a lot of our people are giving him credence. They're worshiping him because he's allowing different rules and regulations to be passed where it feels so to comfort them, man. But what's going to happen? It's going to smite. He's going to smite them very sore and destroy many people of Israel. It's going to happen all over again. But this time, the Lord is going to put a hedge around the elect in this group. All right, and the elect in this time, because it's time for salvation. This was for other things to take place, other prophecies and so forth. Right. So when you go back to this video, I'm gonna keep reading. They're pushing the same thing again. So this video came out 4 months ago. Again, a lot of brothers going over some videos that, but like again, that when you go into the lawmaker, the Fox, you see, I got it in the title, Fox News lawmaker on trial for quoting, she was quoting scriptures. That happened in January, but it's still been in the talks within the last couple of years, even prior to that. But it's been high level talks about, like you see right here, it says stunt activist makes push to get the scriptures banned in Florida school. That was 7 months ago. This was 4 months ago. So you're seeing that this is the goal. This is the ultimate goal, and which is the goal of YAHWASHI, is which is leading to what brothers should know, the famine of the word, man. Okay, it says when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire. Right, so this is what he did, and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. So he set everything on fire. All right, let me jump down. All right, this is a good read. Let me jump down to 50. Probably. Let me start right here. All right, 40. It says, as had been her glory. All right, First Maccabees 1:40. So was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Everyone should leave his laws, and that's what you just saw with the Biden speech. Biden just gave a Christmas speech. Okay, they was mocking him because they was talking about here he is trying to bring all people together. That's what they ultimately want to do. They want to make he want to have one race, and because he's trying to make one race, and he be the ruler of this one race. You see what I'm saying? If you have one race and one group of people, or one group of one body of people thinking the same, how can they come against you? You know, that's what he's thinking. If you have one massive kilometer of people thinking the same way, they will never come against you because they think like you. And that's what his ultimate goal is, to give you that tiny technology and have you be one with the power, I guess the power source that he serves, man, which all comes from YAHWASHI, but he's on the left-hand side. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote into his own kingdom, the all should be one people, everyone should leave his laws. See, and that's what he's doing here. He's trying to get the people that uphold to these things to leave them laws, to leave the standards and the essence that the scriptures uphold, man.
They're better than
our religion's number one. Okay, so let's note a couple of things here. Number one,
you see, and like these guys making a joke of it, but you gotta ask yourself, it's gonna come down to people that's gonna stand 10 toes. I can't say that these people won't be believers, and if they are Israel, I don't know. You know, that's up to YAHWASHI. What we can say is that what the scriptures say, and hey, the Lord is gonna try every man according to his works, man. You see, he's gonna try every man according to his work. Are these guys gonna stand on what they so-called believe? And I'm taking it that I didn't listen to this video, the whole thing. I just heard that first minute, but I'm taking it that he said what's the name is number one. I'm taking it that he believed in the scriptures. All right. Because he was kind of the guy, the Jake with the dreads was upset, and he's with them. So I'm taking it, just putting two together. Again, I haven't clicked it or watched it, but I could tell that they so-called Christians. Now, going back, it says, and let me get ready to close out. It says, so all the heathen agree according to the commandment of kings. Yeah, many also of the Israelites, you're going to have a lot of our people for our nation consent to the king's command, consented to his religion, and sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath. For the king has sent, they're going to have a lot of people agreeing with this. Yeah, ban it because my daughter, or like D-Wade, he has right to freedom of freely think of what he wants to be in life, and I support him, or whatever that is, wholeheartedly. You're going to have niggas like that that's going to consent to the king's religion and sacrifice unto idols. And right, he sacrificed his son into an idol. and profane the Sabbath, for the king has sent letters by messengers in Jerusalem and the city of Judah that they shall follow the strange laws of the land. Hey, it's strange, because while it's contrary, it has no life in it. Forbid burnt offerings. Right, I saw, forgot what I was watching. Dude got mad because he was like, where the women at, man? It was oh, in Ukraine. Yeah, that's what I saw. It was this is real life. I'm thinking I watched the movie. I forgot it. This is a real video, dude. I forgot. I don't know if it was in the UK or where, but it's a group of men that's being transported from the Ukraine from Ukraine. All right, just nothing but men, and you got individuals rolling up on them with their cameras, chastising them, man, or confronting them, man. You know, they confront them and saying, "Oh, like what the hell?" One, they talking about go back to your land and country and all that, but they also said in that same breath, "Yo, what are y'all trying to produce here, man? Why is it just men?" He the one dude was like, "Where are the women at, man?" He said, "Well, how can you continue with a village with all men?" And that's that's the gist of it, because he was asking where the women was at. But that's a strange thing, man. That's very strange, because that means that no life is going to come out of that. Everybody's going to eventually say all them niggas get old and they had a fire, they lived, nobody killed each other, and they all was able to get along and they lived and got old. Well, all them niggas just gonna get old and they gonna die. Nothing else comes out of it, which means it's all vain, man. It says, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they shall profane the Sabbaths and festival days and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. This is what this devil did to us, man. This is Hellenizing. To the end, they might forget the law, and that's the whole thing, and change all the ordinances. So when he's doing it again, he's going to think that no one is going to be able to, since nobody's going to be able to find us, they take us off these platforms and these social media platforms. He's thinking that that means that he cut the Most High's plan. He's going to think that he got over it by him, doing that, when it really is the Most High, because that means everything is sealed. All the elect are sealed, man, and change all the ordinances. And whosoever will not do according to the command of the king, he shall die. Let me keep going. Where's it at? 40 years. The cities on every side. Okay, yeah. 54. Now the 15th day of the month, Causlu, in the 150th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which is the scriptures, they rent it, meaning they tore it, which they found, they burnt with fire. And that's what they're doing now. They're gonna do it physically. All right, might get to that degree again, but they're doing it right now. You see, through the media. Okay, they're doing it through the media, through his witchcraft. He's renting it through his witchcraft. All right, how is he renting it? He's renting it, meaning he's tearing it out of the minds of the people. He's taking it out of the minds of the people, to the point that some people that once so-called believe don't even believe no more, because there's so much witchcraft behind the agenda that he's pushing. It's convincing people that, I don't even want to say it, but they don't believe no more in the scriptures, because they don't see no evidence in it or prosperity from it. Okay, which is why he have all the churches set up on the corners, and he have the different social programs he has set up when it comes to so-called religion, man. Okay, so he's getting ready to come down. The famine of word is we getting closer, brothers and sisters. We getting closer and closer to all the prophecy being fulfilled. Everything you see is being fulfilled on time, man. On time. On time, man. Again, I had Draco pulled up. We don't got to go into this, but he was a scribe, right, in Athens, which is where you get Draco or Draconian, laws. That's where it comes from. Which he was actually a little bit before. When you go to Daniel, the first chapter, he was a little bit before that, because it also talks about him being the first. Yeah, right here, it was the first recorded legislator, right around what was it, like six. Yeah, and when you go into this word, I didn't go into it, but do it pop up? Yeah, okay, yeah, I was gonna say it, but I'm gonna just read it what it got. Because Olympiad, when you're doing your research, Olympiad is another way to say Olympic Games. Another identifier. Matter of fact, I forgot to say at the beginning of the video, you know, Jay got a low attention span, so some brothers might not make it all the way through. But I'm a post on the chat on my page, a clip it, a snippet like 12, 13 minutes of the Greco-Roman influence that's in America, man. All right, I found a compilation of videos that we've have gone in over the years and used different videos. Probably been one video you did a lesson on, but I like this compilation because it used what a compilation is, a variety of different videos from over the years from different brothers. Or there's no brothers scriptures or nothing like that. It's just a compilation of different documentary clips all compiled into one. And I will say at the end, whoever put the last edit on, they had Nate talking at the end. I kind of want to take that out, but he didn't say nothing wrong. Like he was on point with what he said. So I'm like the brother, forgot who uploaded is, another brother, elder brother. I'm gonna just re-upload it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I'm saying, we great millstone, but hey, if it's truth and if it's something that's said correctly, hey, it's nothing wrong with that. So I'm gonna just leave Nate on there, even though the dude bugged out. I'm gonna leave him on at the end, and he said something correct, according when it comes to Babylon the Great. All right, so I'm gonna upload that as soon as I get done with this, Lord willing. But that's what the Olympiad is going into, the Olympics. Okay, but again, Draco was around 622 or 621 BC. All right, when Draco established the legal code in which he is identified. So that was around 622 BC. Because when you go into the first chapter of Daniel, when you're dealing with go here. Let me close out. Daniel chapter 1, it says, in the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, to Jerusalem and besieged it. Right, and this is going into around because Nebuchadnezzar was around 605 BC, all right, to like 560, 562 BC, right, 43 years, something like that. So it says in the third year, which you take 3 years off of that, that would be 602. Okay, 602 BC. So this was about, what was that? This was about a good 20 years. When he made these laws, it was 20 years earlier. You know what I'm saying? It was 20 years earlier than when Nebuchadnezzar and all that was taking place in the first books of Daniel. Okay, so again, so yeah, man, that that's pretty much it, man. They getting ready. Oh, let me close with this. It's only right. Get two quick ones. Amos 5, I'm gonna just read straight through them. Let me get this one. Slacking. Still have it with it. Second Esdras, chapter 5. All right. This Amos chapter 5 and 11. It says, for as much, therefore as damn, what I'm thinking about. Oh my God, slipped my mind. So like it. What did I want to Amos? Let me read second Esdras 5. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted. Famine of the word. Let me read this first. This second Esdras 5 and so like it. I'm like, why did I go to Amos 5? That's why I was confused. Since I came back to here, let me just read this one. Amos 8:11. It says, behold, the days come, to YAHWASHI, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor or thirst of water, but of hearing the words of YAHWASHI, man. So that's what we're getting ready to go into. And that's beautiful, man. We want that. We pray for that. We pray for the hastening of the day of the Lord, and that comes with it, man. You know, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north to the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh Shai, shall not find it, man. And this is what's gonna happen. Everybody's gonna be seeking them books, but they burning the image publicly on the internet, man. And I just did a lesson called I just did a lesson the other day. His fall is being televised, just like ours was, but bigger. Because you see, just even the scriptures being broadcast as as hate speech and against humanity and all these madness. What's natural, which is clearly on track for what life stands for. Scripture talk about it's the doctrine of life, the knowledge, wisdom, understanding that the book uphold. It talks about it's the doctrine of life, which means it's the way you live in orderly fashion that continues the cycle of life, which makes everything around you prosper. The earth, the animals, the air, everything, the people. That's why Proverbs 29:2 is so important. That's why the people are mourning, because wickedness is ruling, but people is going to rejoice when righteousness is set back on top, man. But nonetheless, the 2 Ezra 5:1, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens are signs. Behold, the day shall come, the day which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth should be hidden, and the land should be barren of faith. You see, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. So because of the truth, when we disappear, the Lord, we're not going to disappear like that, but the Lord is going to hide us, okay? And only the believer, those women, because we women are, hey man, these women are wicked, man. You got wicked men too, but these women is on a whole nother level, man. And you got the believers though. You got women that actually believe in this thing wholeheartedly, man. That believe in Yahawah Shai, and the Lord is gonna make the scripture talk about I should make a man a hiding place, roughly paraphrasing. He's gonna make the men of the Lord a hiding place for the women that truly believe in the Lord, and they're gonna be able to go to those men. Isaiah 4:1, they're going to increase in the spirit, and they're going to be saved through intercourse, because that's how she becomes a man's wife, and that's only how she is going to be able to be a part of that household that's going to be saved, Lord willing. All right, if that happens that way for her, you know what I'm saying? So you got to remember those things. So when the men of the Lord are going to be a hiding place. Okay, jumping down to the point, and we're gonna close out, man. This is 10, and shall be and salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then it shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself, which is wit. Wit is understanding. It's going to withdraw itself into a secret chamber. The chamber being our mind. All right, it's going to be withdrawn from the world's ears and the eyes, and it's going to be hidden in the minds of the elect men. Lord willing, part of that number, the hopeful elect. Okay, and that's why knowledge is Isaiah 33:6. Knowledge and wisdom will be the stability. It's going to keep you stable in that time, man. The knowledge and wisdom, the training that we did through the Spirit is going to be able to get us through the times that we're going to need the Spirit the most. Through a carnal time, we're going to need the Spirit the most. And that's what we're doing now. We're spiritually training for the battle. It shall be sought of many and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and countenancy, meaning lack of control, will be multiplied upon the earth. One land also shall ask another and say, it's righteousness that maketh a man righteous going through thee? And it shall say, no. What makes a man righteous? The scriptures, the breath, the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of Yahawah. At that time shall be a hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. Right. So, hey, man, Lord willing, this is edifying. I wanted it to be quicker than what it was, man, but it's all good. Hey, shalom to everybody tuning in on this late night, man. Hey, Lord willing, you know what I'm saying? It's edifying. Again, we give all honor and glory and praise and worship to our power. BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Hey, again, double honors again to our apostle, elders, great millstone, we will teach from sound doctrine, strong shalom, to the hopeful elect, and the rest of the large multitude of men and children. Let the Lord have mercy on these last days, man. All right. Again, show humble brother, humble servant, Kadash, coming from GMS branch here in Cleveland. Until next time, I'm gonna walk out the ball. Shalom.